Hey traders, this is Heather. Never a dull moment, is it? So we had another Fed rate announcement today. Now it was a pause, which is exactly what everybody expected it to be. So it's kind of interesting when you look at the daily candle on SPX. That is quite the drop. And if I bring it over to the NASDAQ, it's not going to look any better. Nasty, nasty drop. So you might be asking yourself, well, if it turned out just the way that we thought it would, why did we get this huge drop? So really, I think the main answer is it doesn't really matter why, right? We always want to be focusing more on how can we make money off of this as opposed to why. I have a little bit of a hunch, and maybe I'm totally wrong. That happens. I have a little bit of a hunch that it might not be completely related to the Fed statement. It might be somewhat technical. Maybe it has something to do with all of the upcoming earnings. But again, it doesn't really matter why. Really, the question is, okay, so what do we do next? I am going to zoom in and just show you my intraday chart really quick so that we can see exactly what kind of a move it was. Because if I just show you the daily candle, that actually doesn't tell you the whole story. So look, we did have a bit of a meltdown for the first 3 hours, 2.5 hours of the day. Started climbing a little bit into the Fed and then got a really big pop all the way up to this white line, which is the daily 21. And then it was in the last hour of the day. Price hit 74.50 on SPX. Hit 74.50. And then in the last hour of the day, it dropped 135 points. 135 points is a massive move for an entire day, but when we're talking about that's the move that SPX made just in the last 1 hour of the day, that's a little bit crazy. So do we get some continuation tomorrow or do we get a bounce? I'm hoping that it's a little bit of an overreaction and that this is a little bit overdone, because we actually in the small lot trading room, we put on a butterfly targeting 74.50 for tomorrow. And look, when price was way up here, we started thinking, uh-oh, were we not bullish enough? Should we have maybe aimed a little bit higher, because the butterfly doesn't expire tomorrow? Turns out I'm glad that we didn't aim higher. Now, the good thing is we actually did this butterfly in XSP, which is 1/10 the size of SPX. So instead of targeting 74.50, our center strike is 745. It's 5 wide. So really, if SPX gets back above 7,400 tomorrow, we'll be in good shape. Can it do that? I don't know. It's 80 points away. Absolutely possible that it can make an 80-point move tomorrow. I mean, it did more than that in 1 hour. Daily ATR on SPX is 84 points. So that's not out of the realm of possibility at all. And then if we look at the Trader's Almanac, July 30th, which is tomorrow, is historically a bullish day, right? So it wouldn't surprise me to see a move higher tomorrow. The question really becomes, is it high enough for our butterfly? We'll have to see. That doesn't really help you guys out a lot though, because if you're not in that butterfly, you want to know, okay, well, what else can I do? So I think really, it's going to come down to the tech stocks that are reporting tonight. It hasn't been released yet as I record this video. So by the time you see it, you're going to know more than I do right now. But Microsoft is reporting tonight. Meta is reporting tonight. Qualcomm is reporting tonight. You know, when I say that maybe this was technical, maybe this was just traders positioning for those earnings. Maybe they're worried about those earnings reports. Again, doesn't matter. Let me zoom back out and let's look at some potential trades for tomorrow. So let's say we do get a little gap up pre-market, you know, into the open of the day. what are some levels above? I still think the daily 21, which is now at 74.52, is probably the best area to target for tomorrow, as of right now, where price sits. If you're going to take a bullish move tomorrow, Thursday, the 30th. That also happens to be the risk pivot that spot gamma has right now. So they are bearish below, bullish above. A lot of times those risk pivots do get tested. Again, got tested today, okay? The volatility trigger is up here at 74.65. As long as we are below that level, we're gonna see higher volatility. Certainly got that today, right? What if we don't go higher tomorrow and we actually go lower? Okay. So we're really close to 7,300, which is right about here. Again, going back to spot gamma, they have been pointing out for a little while now that there is a ton of negative gamma below 7,300. So if SPX breaks 7,300, they are forecasting a very quick drop down to 7,300. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so that we can see where 7,000 is. There we go. All right. So right down here, and then I'm going to put in some little buy zones that I have based off of the daily chart, because they happen to line up with that tree line that you see right down there at 7,064. So really in between 71.36 and 7,046, this is an area where buyers have stepped in the past. So definitely think that it's possible that if we do get a flush down there, and I don't think that this would happen tomorrow, I'm saying like in the next week or so. If we do get a flush down here into this area, I think that is a dip that you buy, okay? If you wanted to target something down here, 7,064 is a tree line that should be support. So you could do 7,070 or 7,060 if you wanted to do something really wide. In fact, well, the market's closed, so I'm not going to get an accurate price, but what we could look at is, you know, like a really wide butterfly, maybe centered at 70.50. You could do it 50 wide, maybe for Monday of next week. Again, it all depends on if and when we break 7,300, but you know, getting a 250 point flush over the course of a couple of days when we're in a negative gamma environment, that's definitely doable. So I kind of like the idea of doing a butterfly 50 points wide, centered at 70.50 if SPX breaks 7,300. And I don't mean like a quick little test below it, like, you know, it might tease us and get down to 72.90 and then recover, right? But like if we get it closed below 7,300, I think I'd be looking at a butterfly right down here. Okay. Just want to point out the weekly quant pivots, not that they hold every week. 15% of the time they don't work, but this weekly L1, pardon me, is right up here at 73. Let me give you the exact number, 73.64. So we might even bounce up above that into Friday, okay? L2 is down at 72.99. That's the level that needs to hold if you're a bull. Okay, so what looks good? That's a loaded question because not much. Everything that looks good to me, or not everything, that's a dramatic statement. Most of the things that look good to me have earnings coming up. So that immediately crosses it off my list. But there are a couple of things that I have found that do look good. So XLV has been doing great, and we actually just got out of a trade in the Mastering the Trade room and in the small lot trading room, where we were able to book a little bit more than a double on those trades. And look, XLV healthcare ETF came right up, hit this fire line, and it's just now holding. So, by the way, look at this. It's in an ideal squeeze. It made this huge move. I mean, this is like a 3 ATR move. The squeeze hasn't even fired yet. So, what you could potentially do, come on, there we go. Toss is tired, man. It's been a long day. So what we could look to do is this line right here. This is the daily 5 and it's rising, okay? If this can hold, okay, tomorrow it's going to be a little bit higher, presumably. If price can hold the daily 5, even the daily 8, you know, maybe it breaks the daily 5, but it holds the daily 8, which is also rising, okay, and we get some good squeezes on it. I already have a 30-minute squeeze. I already have an hourly squeeze. That's pretty good. Could we get a 4-hour squeeze too? Then maybe this daily squeeze breaks out, starts to fire long, and busts through this fire line. Should that happen, what would I want to target? Well, let's see. Let's run some fibs. I haven't done this yet, so we're going to find out together. First of all, first thing I would want to look at, because it's already hit this first fib extension, almost hit the second one. So 170 would be a good target. But also, look, when a squeeze fires, you kind of want to look for a 3 ATR move. Daily ATR on XLV is 274. So times 3, what is that? 340, $4, $6. We'll call it $6 up from here. Let's say up from 165. Yeah, so 171. So I think this is a good target right up here in this neighborhood, 171. So that's a potential setup. Let's look at some things that look good inside XLV. A lot of things look good inside of XLV, like Lilly, but like I was mentioning, a lot of them also have earnings coming up, which to me, just, I don't play through earnings like that, which is really unfortunate because look, it's holding the daily 21, has an ideal squeeze with rising momentum. So that's a shame. However, JNJ looks good. Johnson & Johnson. Here's the thing. I just need it to come down a little bit, okay? Had a great move up to plus 3 ATR. If it could come down and meet this rising daily 21, then I would look to trade it long, possibly hit this one final fib extension at 277 that has yet to be hit. Another good looking one on my chart. Philip Morris, same story, okay? Had a great run up to plus 3 ATR, starting to cool off. It's actually holding this snow line, so we'll see. Can it come down to this rising daily 21, or does it hang out and just hold the snow line, consolidate sideways here, wait for the moving averages to catch up to price while it develops some intraday squeezes? It's not there yet, but I'm going to be looking for one of those two things to happen. Couple other things that look good. Capital One. Financials have been doing okay. Has an ideal squeeze, rising momentum, and it's holding this fire line. So I love the idea of trading this one up to this snow line up here at 219, possibly 226 if we can go out far enough in expiration. But I think Capital One looks fantastic. That's what I have for you tonight. Once again, make sure that you check out Taylor's webinar tonight. He always delivers, right? If you've ever seen anything from Taylor, you know he is a master at teaching options trading. So I'm going to be watching it. I hope that you do too. Really excited to hear more information about this new alert service that he's launching. And I will see you back in the trading rooms. Thanks, traders.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me